Hey there.
Melissa, how are you today?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing well, doing well. Are we gonna work on kind of the same thing from last time?
Yeah, and so at, after I'd met with you, I was trying to do some stuff with that spreadsheet, and you
Okay.
know how it was laggy.
Yes.
I think that had something to do with like you taking the data from sheets and putting it into Excel because I was having trouble doing the same exact thing to where it was almost unusable.
Yeah.
I couldn't get it to move. So I got a hold of the raw data again, just like in the sheets format, which is right here.
Okay.
I don't know why when it transferred over to Excel, it if there was something in there that just like was
Yeah.
bogging it down, I don't know.
Okay.
So I just basically started over again. And so here it is in Sheets, but it still needs
Right.
to go over to Excel. But I did actually think a little bit more too about like maybe how to go forward.
Do you
In
have that,
ter-
not to interrupt, but do you have that raw file to send me, or is it something?
yeah, let me send this to you. Let's see.
And you
Hold
can
on.
reply to the booking email or send it to I could drop the email address in the chat if needed.
Let's see. Can I do this? Maybe I can just. Hold on. Will that work? Maybe.
Yeah, that'll work. So it may ask me to get permission.
Okay.
We'll see what it says here yeah, it says that you need to request access, request sent.
Okay. Mm, hmm. Really quick, what's your email? And I'll just. It's not
It's in
coming.
the chat there. Yeah, hopefully it'll allow it. I don't know if it's a business account. It may or may not have more
Okay. Hold on.
challenges. It says it sent an email, requesting access, whatever. Uh,
Okay. Let me know if that worked.
let's try it one more time. There, it worked. All right. So let me, so I'm not a Google Sheet expert by any stretch.
I
So we'll
can
see.
just try like sticking it back in Excel again and seeing if it works. But
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do. I was gonna download and maybe it will be better.
okay.
I don't know. Files, all right. Enable editing. Yeah, so let me share my screen here.
Okay.
We'll see if we can get started here. So is the timestamp important?
No,
This appears to be missing the state. Is that, oh, that's down here.
it's
Okay,
down at the end. Yeah.
that's it. That's fine. Um,
And
do you have the questions kind of known? Like if I were to change this to like Q1, Q2, Q3, would that be a big problem or would that?
no, we can do that because I can look them up later.
Okay.
It's kind of easy to tell by the responses, anyways.
Oh, good. Yeah, because this date, I mean, it's for you, it's meaningful. For me, I couldn't tell you, anything about it. And then we'll call this state. Is that okay?
Yeah.
And then I don't know, is there a better name also? I mean, we can keep going
Just
Q,
right. Population. How about for that one?
population. Okay.
And then
And then
these other ones you could just delete. Actually, we don't need M and
okay.
O. We don't need those.
All right. Okay. So I'm going to save and Actually gonna copy the smart thing here. So you should always like copy your data before you start messing around with it.
Okay.
So, all right. Now let's see. Like the first thing is typically you make a table out of it. You can either do a pivot table or a regular table. My table has headers. There we go. Um, and then we can sort and stuff like that. But the pivot table is really the way to go. So let's see if we can just insert a pivot table and new worksheet, hit OK. And this is kind of where we left off yesterday, which was, or a few days ago, where we started collecting information,
Hmm.
with questions, and then we could count certain things in
Okay.
there as well. So I mean, it's totally, you tell me where. Well, I mean, I know you've got some deliverables. I don't want to not get to your deliverables. So what do you think you want us to do today?
So I was thinking what I'd like to know how to do. Um, so I think one of the charts I want to show is in terms of like each state. Um, I want to show like the responses by like what you were just going through actually, like doing a table maybe, and then showing like the number of responses by state, like what was yes, no, and I don't know. And then there was also I was trying to decide if I even keep the I don't knows category.
If you're asking my opinion, the I don't knows are not very useful, because you don't know
Yeah,
which way they go. But I don't know your data set at all. So that's just purely an outside like um,
it's just for the I want to include them in there somehow, but I was almost thinking about counting them as a no. Like to me, it was like almost the same as saying no. If you're saying that I
but
don't know that information, then you're basically saying, well, then it's kind of a no. I don't.
so here's like the technical answer is we would call that a non-response, and you would typically eliminate non-responses from your data
Okay.
set. But
Okay.
because by coding them in one direction or the other, that could be dangerous. That could be considered like manipulation of your data. But I mean,
Okay.
again, like it all depends on what you want to show. So,
Yeah.
um,
No, I think non-response would probably be good.
okay. And so that's where you almost like want to exclude it from your data set. And that's what we can do here with the pivot chart is we can drop it and now it's gone. So
Okay.
now you just have these. And then I think we can do some tables, or I'm sorry, like I think you were talking about bar charts, pie charts, something like that. Let's see
Hmm.
what recommended charts. Here's a you know a bar chart, for example.
Okay. And that's showing the yes to no
Yeah, by state
by
for this
state.
question, and then it's a
Okay.
pretty simple thing to change it. So let me just throw this one in here. Like let's so you would typically do this and then grab it from uh and if you didn't want to show all the states, like see how there's a northeast, like that doesn't make sense to include. I don't know
Right.
why that's in there. You'd probably eliminate that. For example, um,
Okay.
there's a lot you can do here. So and then like I would move this into a document or something, or your PowerPoint, whatever you're using.
Okay.
I
All
will
right.
send you this file at the end this time. I was very I didn't send you anything from last time, but I
That's
typically send
okay.
stuff at the end. Um,
No, that's
so
okay.
the
I was gonna try to go through and like mess with it myself, but again, I think like when I was trying to convert it over from Sheets into Excel, there must have been something in there that was making it all bogged down and it was just going so
yes,
slowly.
yeah, I had to restart my computer.
I'm sorry.
No, they needed it, but I was like, oh my God.
Okay.
All right, so this is question one, and what's nice is that you can change like I can remove question one and add question two to the legend and then the sigma, and it will also update this thing here. But then you have to go back and you have to like remove the I don't knows. Um,
Okay.
so this one had a lot of yes. Like this is probably not the best type of chart for this for question two. For
Hmm.
question one, it was great because maybe a pie chart is better here.
Okay.
Not by state. I don't know. Like this doesn't really lend itself by state, for example.
Yeah. No, I was thinking like the thing for like by state, looking at, that's why I was thinking like a table, so that people could see how, like what was the overall, like what does it look like overall? If they could just like look at it in one picture, like what would that look like in terms of the yes, no, I don't know
Yeah, I
questions?
mean, and so that's what we had here. I mean, this table is pretty clear.
Hmm. Okay.
Um, I don't think you need the grand total. Like you could eliminate that, for example.
Okay. And so like if I want to do percentages in there, I could just add another column then and say like, okay, well, like California, like, 85% said no and 15% said yes or something like
I th
that.
I think we can change the field settings to do that. Like, yeah, so California obviously is 100%. I think we can field settings. See, right now they're counts, and I think we can change it to this is an advanced thing. More options. I think we already did this though. The answer is yes, we can do that. I'm not quite sure how to do it
Okay.
quickly. So, but if that's what you'd like to do, I can definitely look into this. I'm just gonna go look on another screen here. Basically going out to the internet, looking up how to show percentages in a pivot table.
Hmm.
I can do that here.
Okay. Um, yeah. I just think
Right, the
that that's,
field and the value. There it is. Click on the arrow on the left of the field. Is okay. Um, so do you want to show the value as a percentage of the row, like it's 100% yes for state, like by state?
do you
I
think,
think
I
that's
think, I just, I wonder if that would be more useful for people if they're looking at it.
okay. So let me just reduce the number of decimal places. Oh, stop there. Not you. Sorry. Um, yeah, I mean, I think it's weird having the grand total in here, so you obviously don't need
Hmm.
to include all that, but I mean,
Sure.
yeah, I mean, it's easier, definitely easier to show that. And then, um, yeah, I like that.
Okay. Okay. Like if I were to present this data to you, you don't know anything about the project, but I'm trying to show you like, okay, well, here's how the states sort of responded in terms of the survey. To me, that makes more sense. And then
So
otherwise they're having to like add it in their mind.
yeah, like, so I'm the difficult person in this scenario where I'm gonna say, well, 100%, like how many? Was it one? Was it two? Was it 20? Like that might be, I would probably ask you that. I would want to know. Um, but I agree with what you're doing. I'm just saying like the natural objection to this is like, well, what are the counts? And the natural objection to the counts are, well, what are the percentages? So you're never going to please everyone. But this makes it clear. I think what makes it really clear is down here, the grand totals.
Okay. Would
So
it be
basically,
too
go ahead.
cluttered if I had both of them in there?
You cannot do that in a single, like you have to
Table.
decide. You have to choose. Yeah. I mean,
Okay. All
you
right.
could do it, grab a copy and then put it in your, your presentation and then show up as well. I think
Mm-hmm.
percents are good. I don't like
Okay.
redundant percents here, so I definitely wouldn't have all that in
Okay.
in
Like
there.
getting rid of the zeros.
The zeros are okay. I don't like the grand
The
total
grand total.
column.
Okay. All right.
Like I would like to remove this. I don't know why it's in here. I guess it's in here by default. I don't know if I can just remove it or not.
Oh, the
Remove
little.
grand total. Yeah.
Okay.
Now I think it looks better.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
But
Um,
that's up to you if you want to do that or not.
no,
And
I
do I
think
need,
actually getting that out would be good.
and I don't know if just to be clear, I don't know what your deliverable is, but like I can grab a snip of this and drop it into the chat. I mean, this file is yours. Like, what do you need out of this so that you get what you want when when you're all done?
Part of it is actually I'm just working through this with you because I'm not good at what you are doing
Okay,
right now. And also it's helping me to visualize, okay, well, is that even going to work?
okay, yeah. Pivot table. All right, so let me just get this a little better. This is the raw. This is the copied. So you know what we're doing here. Copy data. Yeah. So that's the idea here. What
Okay.
other things would you like to maybe, when we were looking at like the questions the other day, is there another sort of interaction you're looking for here?
So the other thing I was thinking about was, is there any correlation between any of these questions based on, so, it's the data is problematic because we have like so few states that responded, and there's like a whole huge amount of them that responded from like Maine. Like Maine was the main one. Um, and then most of them are actually sort of like East Coastish. But I was thinking about comparing, if I'm going to be comparing states, maybe like geographically, I could compare like east to west, like everything. Um, I don't know, like I was thinking like west of the Mississippi, which would only give me like 16 states because that would be like California, Oregon, Washington, and Texas. But like, is there a difference between those responses and the East Coast ones? Um, I was thinking
It's
about.
harder to it. So the way you would need to add in a geographic variable,
Mhm.
and we can do that. Like,
So like putting in a new column.
yes,
Okay.
yes. Oh, and I don't know why I didn't. Jeez, that's really bad. How do I add this to the table? Whoops. Um, yeah, we'll figure that out in a moment. So yeah, so we would want to insert, and then we'd want to call it like region.
Okay.
Um, and I mean, other than hand coding it though, I mean, I don't know how you want to do it, but like, yeah. So you can do
I could code it by east and west, right?
sure, like how, but there's no way to do it automatically without having some rules. Like
Okay.
you have to tell me like, so what I was thinking of was using like there's no, you have to, your probably fastest way is to go east. Um, and then I don't know, that's obviously that's a
Yeah.
west. Um, and then that's east, but like, I don't know, California's west, but you'd have to do that manually. There's no way to like, you'd have to create a rule for all of it, and it would take a little long, probably take 5 or 10 minutes to write it up.
Okay.
But yeah, we would need to do that. And then I need to add this to the table,
Okay.
which is really bad that I didn't do that. Um, why can't I add it to the table? All right, I gotta go back to the internet. I guess I can just copy it. So we'll insert all this population. And then I can just copy this. So just the values, we remove that. And the problem is I don't know if my pivot table will have that. I don't know if I can refresh it. This that didn't do it. So when you, I got to check here. Probably a way to add it to the pivot table.
Okay.
Update table, update pivot table, range. Analyze options, range, change data source, refresh, maybe refresh. There it is. Okay, now it did. So I refreshed it and now the region of the
Oh,
population showed up. So that's good.
okay.
That was under here. So this is so now, like you said, you could, for example, um, you could go with, oh, I didn't, do you want me to add in all the regions or not?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I can do that pretty quickly here. Um, so these are all east,
Yeah.
and then west, okay, east. Where does Texas fall for you?
That's west.
Okay, Oregon, VP. All right, and if I made a mistake, you can go in and obviously just modify it.
Okay.
All right, boom, boom. All right, that look reasonable to you? Briefly.
Yeah.
Okay, so I should save this at some point. All right, let's refresh the pivot table. Okay, so we can now look at, for example, question one by region again.
Hmm.
Um, and you can see like it tells you, what you, this case,
Okay.
counts and stuff like by that, by the question.
Yeah. Okay.
And then if you wanted to, the way you change it to percentages, you right click here, show value as and percentage of, and I've been using row total, which would be but that may not be yeah, I mean, it still kind of shows the same thing. They're basically um, it's yes mostly
Uh-huh.
from, then we can remove the I don't knows again. If that's what you're looking for. You can see those update. I mean,
Okay.
it's pretty clear that it's yes, it's still yes, but like you could maybe do a statistical test to prove that like there's a difference in the nose versus east versus west.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, it might not be showing anything, but I think it's just good that we're able to show that.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Let's see, what else was I thinking about? Oh, the size
So
of
like
the,
population now.
yeah.
Okay. So is that by state? Like what do you care about with population?
So is there with
Like
is there
like what do you want to know? Like how many people are in each state or
no, I want to see if there's a difference. So would there be a difference between states that are more populous or like whatever if that library served a larger population versus a smaller population. And so there's going to have to be some sort of cutoff at some point, like in terms of like the average or the mean, I guess.
So I
Um,
mean, we just know. Okay, so you want average? That's what you said. All right, so we
yeah,
can.
so like maybe anything that's like
So this is
above.
this is the average of it, and then what you can do is you can like sort this by, you can sort by like largest to smallest.
Mhm.
Um, let me get rid of some this is rounded really weirdly. Number format. No, I don't want that. I want to decrease. I don't want just that one. Um, Format cells. All right. Number. Okay. That still isn't, I don't know why I didn't update them all, but let me do it manually. So the average, you know, and then maybe we can sort by largest to smallest. There you can see, we would expect California to be, larger population, Texas larger population, in Florida's large population, I guess.
So for this one, actually, I think it's instead of like having the state, because it doesn't really
Okay.
help. No, yeah. So instead of
What do
like
you want to know?
having
Yeah.
like, would there be a difference between the population, like the mean of the population, and the answer to some of these yes no questions? Like, if you had a population of like over 500,000 as opposed to like under 500,000, is there a difference between those two answers? Is what we were thinking.
I see. I see. So that's a little, yeah, it's a little different than what we did here. So, um, our population, I don't know if we can group these into, betweens. Yeah, I mean, like what I hear is like you're trying to create these like buckets because these
Right.
are the individual populations, and it's like you want to segment it by, um, so you really, and then you want to know about question one,
Hmm.
um, for example. Um, there's always a way to do what you want. It's just it's just not that easy. Not always able to figure that out.
Okay.
So like what I'm hearing is, and again, it would be like we'd almost want to create a way to like we kind of want like a small, medium, large.
Hmm.
Um, so we can do that. We can do like we can add a column here and call it size.
Okay.
And you can say if the population is less than, I don't know, maybe you have numbers. I'll just throw in a number like 5,000. Um, we can call that small,
Okay.
comma. If it's weird, I gotta put up here, so I'm gonna run out of room. If the population is less than, I don't know, what's your next? Is it like 50,000? I don't know. I'll just choose 50,000. Then it's medium, comma, large. I think I gotta add in. I don't think it's gonna like that. I gotta add quotes to those. So small. Okay. So now we can go back to the pivot table and I can refresh it. And then I can refresh it. There it is. And we can start with size now. And you could say, okay, tell me about question one,
Okay.
um, as an example.
Yeah.
Is
No,
that kind
that,
of what you had in mind?
yeah, it is actually.
Okay. We're getting
Um,
somewhere. That's
I
good.
think so. Yeah, I mean, if so, like if again, like you're an outside person who's looking at this information.
It's pretty clear if you're a small library, you're more on the fence on these issues, on this issue,
Mhm.
whatever Q1 is, but not if you're medium or large.
Okay. All
And
right.
then we could similar like you said, we could just look at question two and do the same thing here. Um, like yeah, I don't know. Oh, we got to remove the I don't knows. Um, yeah, like it's not as for question two, it's not a big deal. I
Hmm.
mean, the size doesn't seem to be like a factor, an influencer of that, at least for
Okay.
question two. But question one looked like small. That was kind of cool to see.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
and then you can do the same thing for the other questions. You are noticing like I'm replicating those in the column and down here the
So
counts.
in the column and the value.
Yes. Yeah. And this
Okay.
is you gotta be really careful. This is a count. Sometimes you can change the field settings to like an average or a sum. You're looking mostly at counts here. Um, if I remove the I don't knows, that's why I said if you're constantly removing the I don't knows, I would just get rid of them from your data set. But now like okay, medium libraries have more kind of split on this.
Hmm.
Something that maybe there's something you can go in and do more investigation with.
Okay. All right.
Meaning like that's what you put in the paper or the presentation. Like, hey, here's the next area to explore.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Um, cool. Let's see. What else? What else? What else? I do need to, I think we are going to need to say something about like the the it's Q5 and Q6, even though they show like sort of nothing. Um, but the problem is if I drop the I don't knows, then it makes it look like I don't know. So what do you think of that? So that question was basically it was when you get complaints, are they more often from individuals or organizations? And I'm
Yeah.
afraid if I
So
drop the
I
I
mean,
don't knows, that might be a key piece of information. It's not saying that, they're
well,
not
that's how you
getting.
lie. Yeah, that's how you lie with statistics is you you drop the I don't knows and you say, look, it's only individuals, but that's not really true. I mean,
Yeah.
um, but the data you have doesn't give you much insight into like what you'd want to know is like what percentage of organizations are they dealing with? I mean, I think it's more individuals, but um, yeah, the bar chart here, and this is by large, medium, and small. So maybe you'd
Hmm.
rather look at it by this is where you can make the case for what you yeah, maybe you can say, look, if you're east, west, I don't know, state, maybe do state as a it depends on what you're trying to show. Sometimes you can show stuff that you think might be more compelling.
Okay.
I don't know. I only see one organization though. And then Q6, just when I looked at the data set, it just didn't, it seemed like it was all individuals.
There's like
There was
one
one
organization.
organization.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much the same.
I mean, that's the outsider perspective here is that again, like you don't have a very comprehensive data set. I mean, if these are libraries, I mean, there's probably like 50 libraries in your, I don't know, within 100 miles of you. I don't,
Oh
maybe that,
yeah.
maybe, I mean, I don't know. It just seems like there's probably thousands and thousands of libraries and we're
Definitely. I mean, it's just we had a week to get this together because of the pace of the class. And so, I mean that we're not expected, I don't think, to be presenting something that would ever be in a publication because frankly, we just couldn't. I mean, the pace
yeah.
was just too too hard, but we have to show that we went through the motions and we did the work and that
Okay.
we were able to analyze it. And so, I still have to be able to do this, and then figure out like, well, how would I show this?
Yeah, I mean, as an outsider, I would not make any significant claims here. I would just present the data. Wouldn't,
mhm,
but I would, outsider, I'm like, well, you have a very limited data set, so I'm not sure what we can claim here.
okay.
Um, I would just be careful. I don't know what your instructor's grading style is like, but that'd be a concern of mine, making any broad generalizations from a data set like this.
Right. Yeah. Well, we will find out. Um, let's see. Can we go back to the spreadsheet again? I just want to take a look at that. So, I mean, I think those were the big things. Again, like comparing east and west, showing the table that sort of like broke it down by state for those first four questions. Um, and giving percentiles. And then the total number of states, like what that looked like in terms of the pile, who responded. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what else I can do with this. I think that's about all I can do with it
Okay.
in terms of like quantitative. I don't think I can do anything else with it.
Yeah, there's not much here. It's not like
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that's it then.
okay. Are you sure there's nothing more?
Um, I just can't. I mean, I can't. That like it is what it is. Like it's I can't add more stuff to it. It's
No, you can't
like
make it up either. You gotta kind of you're limited by what's here.
yeah. The other part that I'm going to have to do, and again, like I'm waiting for somebody to get back to me. There was a whole nother piece where we had to do this document analysis, where we were looking at language and the book challenges, and this had to something. There was like these documents that we received in terms of like what the actual challenges looked like that some of the libraries had received, and it had to be coded. And so it's like those actually are a bunch of numbers. Um, and I'm waiting for the person to get back to me. If she doesn't, I was trying to figure out like how would I manipulate those numbers myself? Like how would I present those numbers? And so if you can imagine a table that has, the library, the book that was challenged, the author, it's not here. It's a completely different data set. And then there's going to be some language in there, and then there's going to be a code. I'm thinking if I wanted to pick out like the coding for the language, because it might have like several codes, because they might have used like, you know, and just to give you an idea, like there might be something has to do with like LGBTQ, or there might be, uh,
Nudity or yeah,
sexual content, racism, or like whatever it is.
right.
There's like codes that we came up with for that. And I think in the spreadsheet, I'm going to have to make sure that there's a column for each code. It has to be separated out. The last time I saw it, they were sort of like cramming it all into one column, like every single code into one column for each line item. But I'm thinking like, well, no, that's going to have to be separated out into its own column if we're going to do anything with the data. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, I mean, you
Mm.
like we had to do here on the population size, and
Yeah,
that's post-processing. That's pretty common to do. Um, like based on what you said, I mean, what we I want to know is like, is there like for it to be like a histogram of like what's the most common word or
right.
category that's,
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
then maybe like look at it by state or by region or something to see if there's any significant difference. But you're
Yes.
just looking at, you're not doing any statistical testing to validate that. You're just sort of saying, well, it looks like there might be a difference. More testing is needed to know.
Right. Yes. Yeah,
And
that's
I don't know. I mean, think your teacher or instructor will be okay with that?
yeah.
Okay.
I think so. Okay. I know it's a little bit early, but I think I'm gonna step off because I need to try to
Okay.
play with it.